got one of these. That's the only air moving in this house this morning. Closed up the windows last night for the rain. Well, shut them pretty low, and there was a little bit of rain, not much, but there's a lot of humidity and not much wind and no central air in here, huh, T-Rex? He didn't mind. T-Rex likes the warm and hot and humid air. TK, on the other hand, it's as uncomfortable this morning as any morning this week. It feels a little better now. I feel a little air moving. We've got blue sky and sunshine, but it is still sticky like Florida on Cape Cod. The 9 o'clock temperature and dew point map, 78 degrees with a dew point of 77 degrees in Provincetown. It is going to get a little less humid than that. Boston, the dew point is down to 70. And Connecticut, the dew point is just falling below 70, and that's pretty much where our air on Cape Cod is coming from. Now, if you live in an area that's been so hard hit by severe storms the last several days, you have much less humid air coming in. Burlington, Vermont is down to 55. The dew point is down to 55 with temperature in the 70s. So finally, some relief. Much of Ontario this morning, temperature and dew point are in the 50s. I don't think we're going to get that. It's not exactly a push of September-like air. And as a matter of fact, here in Dennis, the dew point is going to take until tonight to go down to about 60 when the wind finally comes in from the north overnight tonight. You look at the Boston 5-day meteogram, and you can see dew point falling into the 60s today with a temperature in the 80s, excuse me. And then very little wind, and tomorrow, probably the pick of the week weather-wise with sunshine and dew point closer to 60, temperature still 80 to 85. So warm to hot summer weather is going to continue, but without severe thunderstorms. Sunday, the temperature is about 85 with a dew point in the 50s, and that pretty much matches the GFS. So Sunday, temperature has come down in the Euro and matches the GFS now. There's a little bit of a breeze here. Interesting kind of mushrooms going around here. It's not because we've had so much rain. It's because Kevin likes to water his lawn. Can we eat that? Probably not. I wish I knew how to do that. That is to know which mushrooms I was allowed to eat. So it's another sad morning with more destruction yesterday. Oh boy. I'll show you the 3-day severe storm total. So the National Weather Service did some surveys and found out, yes, that was a tornado in Rome, New York. Dozens, if not hundreds, of reports of severe weather with wind damage, and lightning has been just off the charts this week. Lightning, it can't happen without cold air. As the moisture rises in these towering cumulonimbus, they shed electrons, and there's a voltage differential that creates hundreds of thousands of amps and ice. And without the ice formation process, you don't get lightning. So we've had hail and lightning kind of off the charts last 3 days. Tyler Jankowski, I'm not sure where you got this. I'm sure it's credited there in the tweet. Video of what was clearly a not rain-wrapped tornado in Lyme, New Hampshire. That was Tuesday. So the storms on Tuesday were worse, I would say, than the ones yesterday. And as for rainfall over the last 24 hours, the surprise here in southeastern Massachusetts, the most rain fell on Nantucket. That was this morning. I grabbed the radar this morning. I woke up about 4 o'clock just to check the weather, and a big thunderstorm had just gone over Nantucket, and they were just kind of scattered around. It was not an equal distribution of rainfall at all. It looks like down in Chris Lewis territory, southwestern Connecticut, 2.5 to 3 inches of rain is the most rain we've picked up in the last 24 hours. And also across much of Massachusetts. Boston only got about 0.15. I think at home in Weymouth, they got about a ½ inch, according to my Tempest. And then another batch of heavy rain. The Berkshires got more than 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And where we did not need any water, up around Stowe and Mount Mansfield, another 1 to 2 inches of rain across northern Vermont. No reports, or not too many reports of additional flooding, but I'm sure there were some at least culverts washed out again because so saturated. T-Rex, let's go over to the bird bath. There's a mourning dove over at the bird bath. I got T-Rex on my arm. He won't come with me. So we're not getting a big push of nice low humidity air in southern New England, really. It's just going to be less humid for a couple of days and then starts to build back up. And it's a pretty complicated forecast. You know what I've been kind of talking about is what's going to happen Sunday. Are we going to have a warm front or a cold front? And it's still not clear yet. Anyhow, I think we're mostly rain-free today and tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably the pick of the week for most of us. Nice Friday, not too much wind. It gets windy again from the southwest on Saturday. And then it's really tricky. So let's go just right to the Euro 10-day forecast using the graphics, surface maps, and all those, the thin red lines, the 570, those are thickness lines. The black lines, those are isobars. And the blue H is a 1024 high pressure system over the Midwest. And wind is air moving from high to low. So that air is coming in from the Midwest and southern Ontario. So northern New England gets some nice low humidity air. But then once we get out to Saturday and Sunday, there's the front off to the south with showers and thunderstorms, all those rainbow colors. And there's another front to the north, and they're going to kind of both weaken and meet up right over central New England Sunday afternoon with a chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. You got your 576 thickness to the south. Oh, stop. I forgot to point out, I want to show you the map tomorrow night. I'm talking about thickness. Sorry, I got to rewind a little bit. Tomorrow night, here's the map. This is about midnight or so. Call it 1 a.m. Saturday. The 540 line is north of New England. That's the cold enough for snow line in the thickness department. Remember, cold air is more dense than warm air, so the thickness from the 1,000 to 500 millibar level, the lower it is, the colder the air mass, and that's very low for the 500 millibar, 540 decameters, whereas 576 is 576 decameters, and that's hot. All right, so we're on the border between cool and hot. I'm going to pick this back up. I'm going to start over again at Saturday night. So there is going to be some cyclogenesis, low pressure forming with that cold air in southeastern Canada. And meantime, warmer air is trying to come at New England from the south. And herein lies the problem for next week's forecast. We're going to have hot and humid air off to our south, and we're going to have that upper level low giving way to a surface high pressure system in Ontario. And that's going to be pretty cool air initially. And a couple of showers with thunderstorms Monday, and then Tuesday that high is getting stronger to our north. It's a weak low to our south, but that's a serious battle zone between cold air, like nice air in southern Canada, and very hot and sticky air coming at us from the south. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we are in battle zone royale. And it could be hot and humid in New York City and kind of cool and maybe dry in Caribou, Maine, and in the central New England area. It's going to be very sticky, but the temperature might only be in the 70s with heavy showers and thunderstorms often on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then hopefully that lifts out on Saturday. But that's next weekend. Look at that. There's a 570 upper level low. That is a very warm upper level low. And then by next Sunday and Monday, at the end of the period, strong low pressure system at the top of the map and pretty much coast to coast heat. Now, I think this is for 8 o'clock on Saturday, July 27th. Anyhow, you see just coast to coast, not much going on. And I think it's going to turn all hot coast to coast again at that point. And now we're on the verge of going into August. And thankfully, the Atlantic Ocean has been quiet in the hurricane department recently. And that may change. Not quiet in the Atlantic Ocean is the failure of those wind turbines south of Nantucket. How can I not comment at least a little bit on that? Watching some of my friends talk about surfing, their business, Axe Surf, shut down because of these particles of turbine that broke off. And water has just tons of debris in it. It's not huge. In some cases, the pieces are 6 to 8 feet, but I think even more of a worry is the little pieces from 6 to 12 inches of shards of fiberglass that can cut you, and they are toxic. And this is just a debacle of the unbelievable scale. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of those pieces start showing up somewhere between the Cape Cod Canal and Monomoy. I mean, some of them must be missing Nantucket, but Nantucket taking the brunt of that. Just horrible. The operation has only been going on for a few months, and I talked about those wind turbines here and there. On a lighter note, would you like to spend an evening with Matt and Danielle Noyce and have a few brews? And it's a family fun event at Trillium Brewery. We're hosting a fundraiser for the Blue Hill Observatory on July 31st. And we had an organizational meeting, and Matt and Danielle are really psyched with their new 1 Degree Outside brand. And hardest working meteorologists right there. Proud to have them as friends. So just go to that X post or go to bluehill.org and sign up, and we'll see you there. Otherwise, for the and more, I was pretty lazy, doing a lot of editing, walking with T-Rex, and driving around Dennis a little bit. So a little bit more on our new fire department, just the outside look. It took so long to build this thing. And disappointing gray sky, unable to find sandals at Westie's that I liked anyway. And Christmas tree shop's no longer an option. And we'll close it out with just a quiet evening where I was standing at Bass River Marina on Horsefoot Cove. Enjoy the best part of the week coming in next 72 hours. Rex, talk to you tomorrow. 87 degrees. We used to ride our motorcycles back out in here. There was a sand pit. Now it's Cape Sand and Gravel, Paddock's Path. And it took like forever, but we have a new fire station.
Sign, turn left onto Hokum Rock Road.
Hokum Rock Road. Those are the pits we used to drive our motorcycles up and down those sand hills way over there. Sweating it out with T-Rex, 87 degrees. Got some air moving now at the tent sale. Westie's, never been here. Driven by it 1,000 times. One of my neighbors actually owned it some time ago. Smoky sky on Cape Cod. Severe weather again. West of the Connecticut River coming east. See if it holds together. Several bands. That wasn't smoke. It was fog. Maybe a little smoke above it. Just a cloud barely touching the treetops. Stratocumulus. So Rex has pretty much annihilated my sandals. And I need new ones. But my feet are so flippin' fat. That's why I'm barefoot half the time. And my feet are all beat up. I can't find sandals that fit. Help! Who else misses Christmas tree? They have sandals. How's the columns doing? Good. It's gonna happen here. Can't wait. It's like a sauna. We got fog and a temperature near 80. Yeah, and somebody asked about water temperature the other day. Are we setting records? No. Water temperature in Nantucket Sound, 77. Nantucket Sound being just a mile in that direction, so that kind of explains this really sticky air. Water temperature 77, air coming off that water creating low clouds and almost fog here at Horsefoot Cove. Just sauna type weather, dew point in the mid 70s, temperature near 80. And the Boston buoy water temperature is 65. That's down from 70 a couple of days ago. There's the osprey family. I can't tell if there are any babies in there or not, but they return every year. That's their nest. And then we built a new platform. I don't know, Cape Codders, that the osprey just decided not to settle on. Instead, they'd prefer the top of poles out there on Route 28. Not there, but down the road. And for water temperatures, I usually just look at the National Weather Service for the ocean water. And then as far as lakes go, I saw 81 degrees a couple days ago. This site called Lake Monster. I think it's for fishermen. It gives the water temperatures. And in some cases, there are really cool graphics and unusual water temperature patterns of blue, cool, red, warm. Lake Monster. Osprey Monster. Summer shanty, Bass River Marina. I gotta say, I'm pretty shocked that this cloud is so low and so thick right here, right now. I just left not a cloud in the sky over Fallon's Pond, but there were many osprey in the sky. That's enough for today, okay? Maybe we can have a quiet weather day. maybe. Front is not done with us just yet. Is it raining at your house this morning, Martin? Not all the thunderstorms missed Nantucket. There were 2 there when I was there last time. Let us know how it goes.